So today I wanted to do a recipe with these mushrooms because I had these mushrooms in the fridge and wanted to use it. The other thing that I had on the fridge was zucchini, and this is from the veggie patch, and I think a lot of people have those. So I want to use all of that. I want to use capsicum. I want to use some coriander, some green onions that were in the fridge for some time, and I want to make sure that these ones are used. Some Roma tomatoes as well that have been sitting there. A onion, a lime that is really calling to be used. Some garlic and some chilies. And it's a mix of chilies, but you might as well use all of them. So this is going to be a tortilla soup, and the base is going to be a vegetable soup, and that we're going to finish it up with some tortilla stripes on the top, some feta cheese, and we're going to put some avos on the top. We're going to use a couple of spices, or a few spices. We're going to use cayenne chili, oregano, and paprika, and some veggie stock. So very simple recipe, but it's all about bringing it all together. So the first thing that we're going to do is, I have here, I would say there's 6 mushrooms. I'm going to use a couple of them, and I'm going to chop them very, very finely, because this is going to be for the base of my soup. And that base of the soup is going to be based on this mushroom flavor. But also want to have my tomatoes ready. Alright, so for the coriander, this is already been used, so it's not the whole thing. So I'm just going to use whatever is left. I want to use some of the leaves for garnish, so I'm going to leave them behind. So I'm not going to use this right now. But this part of the coriander is full of flavor, and the stem is just full of flavor. If I get a few chunks or a few leaves there, doesn't matter, everything's going to come together at the end, so it's all good. What we're going to do is we're going to get a pot, and basically what I'm looking is just for the surface of the pot to be all covered with the oil. You see how it's all expanding? That's all I'm looking. So let's get started with these ingredients, and let's start putting this into our hot pot. So let's start putting all of these ingredients there. Get that garlic, so I'm going to crush it. So I have 4 cloves here that I want to put in. Tomatoes. We're going to do enough for like 8 serves of this soup. That's why I have a big pot. So I want to, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of that onion that we chopped. And we already have there the colors of the Mexican flag. Now we also have the capsicum, so I'm gonna add it in, and that big zucchini makes for a lot of zucchini, so I'm gonna put that in as well. All right, so that's gonna be the base for my soup. Yes, as I said, this is gonna be very chunky, but everybody's welcome to just blend it as we finish it. The next thing we're gonna do is 1 tablespoon of paprika. We're going to put another tablespoon of this. Now, oregano in Mexico is slightly different to the one in Australia. I think oregano in Mexico is it's a little bit less sweet than what we find in Australia. And some cayenne pepper. I recommend to be gentle with this. I do like cayenne pepper a lot, so I'm putting sort of the equivalent to 1 tablespoon, but it's basically put to taste. Gotta give it a mix to all those ingredients that we have there. We're gonna mix them all together, and the last step is to add some veggie stock. Now, I'm only adding 1 cube, and I know 1 cube is equivalent to 2 cups of veggie stock, but because I have so many veggies, I have so much happening that 1 of them will be enough. And just to finish it off, I'm gonna add enough water just to cover off the veggies. That's it. I'm gonna let it sit. I'm gonna cover this off. I'm just gonna let it sit for another 10-15 minutes until everything comes together, and that's gonna be the base of my soup. Right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my tortilla stripes. So it's just basically just cutting them into those little stripes that we're looking for. So I got my pack of tortillas, I got it out, and here we are, you know, putting into stripes. I'll say for every plate of soup that you're gonna have, you need anywhere between 1 and 2 tortillas. I like tortillas a lot, so for my servings, we're gonna have 2 tortillas. Now we're ready to put these precious tortillas into the oil and see what happens. Now, another thing that I've done is, because we are in times where paper has become so scarce, I'm using the mushes bag as my resting place for the tortillas. So once they have been fried, I'm just gonna put it there to this to absorb all the excess. So I'm just gonna let them sit there. I just want them to go fry. I want them to get crispy. That's what I'm looking for. Another option, if you want the healthy option for this, is do the stripes and then put it in the oven. Put them all in an oven, in a baking tray. Put all the stripes in a baking tray and then just bake them. 160 Celsius for about 15 minutes and they're gonna be baked. This is gonna go for another 10 minutes. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of lime to it and some chopped chilies. So we'll be back when this is ready and then we'll go for this one. All right, so my tortilla stripes are looking great. They actually look like linguine of noodles. So let's think about this as a Mexican noodle soup. They're crunchy. You know, they're crunchy. They're ready to go. Some of them are a little bit burnt, which I actually like. That's pretty good. All right, so that one is done. My soup is coming along. That smells delicious. So there's 2 things that it still needs, and maybe it's very related to the Mexican flavors. So the first thing is I'm gonna chop a little bit of this chilies. So I have these 2 chilies. So this one I'm gonna use it for garnish, and this ones I'm just gonna put it out, add it for flavor. Now chilies, if you put them too early, they cook and a lot of the flavor goes away. So I normally put it halfway through the recipe. And the other thing that I'm gonna bring with me is half of this. All right, some chilies and lime. So in Mexico we use lime a lot in a lot of the dishes for cooking as well as for garnish. So we gonna have a little bit for garnish. Sorry, on this recipe. This is getting ready, and I'm gonna give it another 5-10 minutes. I'm gonna chop the rest of the mushies, but instead of finely chopping, I'm gonna leave them in big pieces because that's sort of what I wanted to be the hero of the soup today. So everything else was the base. The hero of the soup is gonna be these mushies. All right, so let's add this into the soup. And it's going out there, and then these mushies will be the heroes on the soup. We're gonna leave this for another 10 minutes and then we're just gonna assemble and then we put. All right, this soup looks ready and all those mushies and all the veggies are just, they're all just perfect. All right, so let's get this out of here. Finish it up with soup. I'm also gonna get the tortilla stripes or Mexican noodles. All right, so what I'll do is I'll put a few of this just in the bottle. That's my personal choice. A lot of people put it at the end. Because I have a very thick soup, I want to mix it up. So bring this out, put my soup on top, grab some of that juice. And then we're gonna finish it off. How are we gonna finish this one off? We're gonna put a few more of this on the top. Right, we're gonna put a little bit of this green onion that I had hanging out there. I'm gonna put chilies. I love chili. Also, I put some avocado. And this is the Mexican green gold, so this is allowed to be in. The way that I normally do it is I cut it here on the squares or dice it inside of the avocado. Alright, so I have going in lines, and then I'm doing the squares. They're not perfect, but nobody is. And just gonna, with the spoon, just come in and grab some of those squares that I'm gonna add to my soup. Some extra lime, in case we need more lime. Some feta cheese or any other crumbly cheese that we have. And just to finish it up, some leaves of coriander. And here we go. Tortilla soup, a very good comfort soup. We're using everything that we have in the pantry, and that's what we have here. Tortilla soup, Mexican style. Keep sending ideas, keep telling us what you have in the pantry and things that you would like us to do. At the end of the day, it's all about, using what we have in the pantry and making the best out of it.